You ever meet someone who just gets under your skin? Like they say one sentence and you're like, boom. Your chest tightens, you start overthinking, your face gets hot, your mind starts spinning with everything you should have said, but you didn't. That's not just a trigger, that is your mirror. Welcome back to Her Sacred Awakening. My name is Saili and I'm back with a new topic for the new week. Today I'm going to talk about how to understand what is the source of your anger or your hurt or any emotion. What triggers you? How to find your triggers, how to find the exact reason for your triggers and how to work upon it. Do you know that triggers don't just mean anger or hurt? It also means jealousy, envy, possessiveness, insecurity, self-doubt, and all sorts of negative emotions that surface when we feel attacked. But how does this exactly happen? The amygdala, the brain's threat detection system, it is like a detector for emotional danger. When something in your environment, a word or a tone, a facial expression, a smell or a place or anything that resembles a past painful event, the amygdala reacts immediately even before the logical brains start understanding what is happening. This is unconscious and automatic. You don't choose to be triggered. Your brain works that way, it reacts to protect you. That is how the triggers are formed. Did anything affect us when we were babies? No. But with life experiences, with conditioning, with emotions, with circumstances, observations, we formed a belief system. And then everything started affecting us. But as much as people are only responsible for our wounds, people don't create our wounds. They just reveal where the wound exists. Sometimes these wounds are not directly from people or experiences in the past or in the childhood, like we say childhood traumas. Sometimes they are also karmic imprints of our values. Matlab, what we carry from our past lives, our nature, our emotional nature, or our offensive defensiveness that we might carry from our past lives. Sometimes it is generational curses, that means generational traumas, which we carry forward through the bloodlines, through the genes. These are the genetic traumas and they can be passed through generations to generations. If you don't break it, you will be passing it on to another generation. So it is very difficult to understand whether these triggers come from the childhood trauma or a recent wound that happened recently over the period of a few years, or it is the karmic imprint. But you can still recognize your wounds, where the trigger comes from, what exactly affects you. Isn't this exactly why they say that you need to focus on your childhood traumas, or you need to get rid of those generational curses or generational traumas? You need to break the patterns. But for now, the question is, how do we recognize that something is triggering us? See, it is human to feel triggered. It is almost impossible that we avoid feeling in a certain way or a specific way because of someone else's behavior. But what if I say that it is possible to not feel anything when someone triggers you? See, I am myself a very emotional person who gets affected by everything. But as soon as I learned how to recognize the triggers, the intensity of my emotions reduced. It's like I know myself so well now that even if I get triggered, I would easily know where it is coming from. And I can diffuse my anger or manage my emotions very well. And I do it either by removing myself from something that is not serving me or by setting high boundaries. What we all need to first understand firmly is that people don't do anything to us. They behave what they are brought up like. It is because of our own wound and brain reacting that way. People don't plant our pain. They just touch our wounds and we remove our claws because we are triggered. And you just naturally react because you are offended. And those reactions that you give, that heavy, loud, emotional spiral, that is a part of you begging to be seen. When something offends you, that means it triggers you. And what triggers you, that trigger is not bad. It is your mirror. It is a reflection of the part of you, the wound inside you that needs to be healed, that needs to be loved, that needs to be acknowledged and seen. Because here is the thing. You don't get triggered by what doesn't already live in you. That wound is already there inside you. That is why something about someone, the gestures, the words that somebody used against you is triggering you. Because the brain, that part of brain is being activated to defend you. If someone calls you too much, it only hits if a part of you secretly believes that you are too much. When someone ignores you, it hurts only if your worth has been tied to being seen by them all the time. If someone chooses someone else over you, it hurts, it crushes you only if deep down you haven't chosen yourself. And when someone disrespects you, it is because you aren't respecting yourself enough. I'll tell you a truth from my own life. A few years ago, maybe a decade ago, someone close to me mistreated me so much that they would disrespect me but respect everyone else. They were perfect with other people. And I kept expecting better from them each time, but only to get disrespected more and more. The fear of loss or the fear of abandonment, basically the fear, was something that was making me spiral into this situation. And as I went deep into finding out where was this fear coming from, I realized that there was this wound inside me somewhere in the past, maybe in my childhood. I would feel misunderstood by people. I wanted to speak something else, but I used to speak something else and they used to take it the other way. And I had become arrogant or aggressive person when I wasn't aggressive. My way of speaking or expression was different. That is how I realized that this wound is of being misunderstood. It is not just fear of losing. So that was my wound, and that wound needed love. And if it didn't get love, it would trigger me. But what I learned was that nobody on this planet is going to please me. It is me who can do that for myself. So as I sat down to work upon myself, I opened every layer of my trigger and healed it by reconditioning my belief system. And I realized because I wasn't respecting myself, the other person was very much comfortable in disrespecting me. So my trigger and my lesson over here was that that person was mirroring how I had been rejecting myself. My trigger, it wasn't pointing at them, it was pointing me back home to the place where I stopped choosing myself. So the trigger is never about them, it is always about you. You want to know why something hurts so much? It is because that hurt is yours, that wound is yours. You have buried it, you have pushed it down, and that way you suppressed it. But your body remembers, your soul remembers. And now something outside of you mirrored it back. You are shaking. That means it's time. It's time to start recognizing your triggers and start healing yourself. Because if you don't go deep into knowing your triggers, understanding where they're coming from, you will always blame others for your hurt. And that hurt will never stop. So now, it's time to stop blaming, to stop pointing outward. It's time to face it. Do you want to be unaffected and peaceful? Then you have to start by understanding, recognizing your triggers and working upon it. Stop reacting offensively. and start taking responsibility of your own feelings, of your own emotions. Try to filter out your close person's intentions when they hurt you. Maybe they are going through something, maybe they are tired, exhausted, maybe they are fighting a mental illness. Maybe they are traumatized by something or are just overworked. Sometimes with the toxic people, there's only one way you can stop them from triggering you or affecting you is by walking away. So next time when you're triggered, don't ask, why did they do this to me? Instead, ask yourself that what is this trying to show me about me? Where did I abandon myself? What part of me is still begging to be held, to be seen, to be loved and respected by me? That's the mirror, that is the work. Every trigger is an invitation. The question is that are you ready to look? If you are still here, that means it hit something inside you. So say it out loud to yourself. I am ready to face the mirror. And then do it. Not for them, but for yourself. This is Siley and this is her Sacred Awakening. See you soon with another topic. Keep growing, keep glowing.